All right. Well, Josefina, thank you for coming. Welcome. We're going to be talking today about the Entrepreneurship for Fashion Designers program. It's a new program offering from NYSD. So, just a little bit about us. We are a licensed private career school established in 2005. We specialize in fast tracking students' educations into the fashion industry. So, as opposed to like a 4 year degree program where you would be taking many different, general education classes like your English and your math and your science classes, we cut all of that out. We are direct path focused on specifically skills that are going to serve you in your career in fashion design. So that's what makes us a little bit different than your standard 4 year university or trade school, right? One of the things that we like to make known is that we have three amazing studio spaces, two large studio classrooms with sewing machines, cutting tables, industrial irons, garment racks, mannequins for draping, and all of those are available to our students. We also have a computer lab that's free for use for students, which you can see in the image on the right side of the slide. And then we also like to bring in on a monthly basis webinar speakers, industry guests to come and talk to our students to give some supplemental education in addition to what you're already learning about in class. We try and bring in industry guests that cover some of the gaps between our classes. So that's a great free monthly resource that we offer to our students. And then something we'll talk about a little bit more later is the industry internships and then mentorships that we plan to offer for the entrepreneurship program. So let's go through kind of the track of the entrepreneurship program. So, as part of signing up for the full entrepreneurship 12 to 15-month program, you'll actually be taking all three of these sets of classes, that is. So, fashion design foundation, these are going to be the core skills necessary for you to move on to the certificate level classes. So, that'll be your fashion illustration. Students don't need to have any background coming in with drawing. We'll take you from the beginning. Elements and principles of fashion design, so kind of getting you familiarized with all the terms, the concepts, fashion history, everything base knowledge that you would need to know about fashion. And then sewing basics, which is just your essential sewing skills, seam finishes, hem finishes, garment details, all that good stuff. And then all of these basic skills are going to be built upon in the fashion design certificate, where you're kind of focusing in on a lot more specific skills. There's your construction based classes like pattern making and sewing and draping. There's some computer based classes like your digital fashion design, where you're learning Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, as well as 3D fashion design, where you're learning a program called Browseware and using your construction knowledge to kind of work with your digital knowledge to create 3D designs. There's also fashion portfolio class, career seminar, color for fashion, fashion textiles. So again, all of those core skills that you're going to need, even if your goal is to start a fashion brand, you still need to have knowledge of these basics, right? Because even if you're not the one who's going to be doing the pattern making or doing the sewing, you are going to need to be able to communicate effectively with the people who will be doing those things. And in order to speak their language, you need to have gone through it yourself. So now we're going to talk about the entrepreneurship courses, which we're going to go into depth on each of these in just a moment. But they are your brand identity and communication, fashion trends forecasting, strategic collection development, fashion marketing, and then fashion business plan. And then one thing that you don't see on this slide, but that is part of the program, is going to be at the end, instead of having like a fashion show, because that's not really what this program is geared towards, you'll be having a business plan competition. So you'll be presenting the business plans that you create in your fashion business plan course to present to a panel of industry experts who will give feedback and critique on your business plan, and then potentially you'll be named a winner, and maybe even one of those industry professionals would be interested in forming a partnership with you. So let's go into the specifics of each course. The first being brand identity and communication. So in this class, you're really going to be starting from the ground floor, building your brand all the way up by constructing your philosophy, your brand's personality, like is your brand carefree and youthful? Are you like more value driven? Are you rugged, tough, outdoorsy? What is the philosophy of your brand, or the personality of your brand rather? You'll be establishing your brand's architecture. So, are you going to operate under a single label, a single name, a single product line? Are you going to branch that out into multiple under one large brand umbrella? So, kind of thinking through that. And if you wanted to branch out into several different lines, what is that going to look like for you? You'll create a plan for that. And then develop your brand's core values. Every brand stands for something. What matters to you? Is it your product's craftsmanship, or do you want to focus on ethical business practices, sustainability? What is it that's at the core of your design? What is it that makes you passionate about designing? All of this are considerations that you'll be making in this class. Next up is fashion trends forecasting. So this one is super duper important. It's all about leveraging the trend cycle, how to do research about trends in the industry, because ultimately trends are going to be what's guiding your designs, your direction, right? You can't just design beautiful clothes if there's not a market for it. So understanding what the trends are happening, how to react to them, and even how to respond to the trend cycle ethically. So one thing that's really important to NYSD is creating or instilling rather a sustainable mindset in our designers. And one of the things about the trend cycle is it can be very wasteful, it can be very unethical and very non-sustainable. So we're trying to teach you how to react to the trend cycle, not in a way that's causing lots of waste, that's playing into fast fashion, but to really be thoughtful about the way that you're responding to trends. So that's the trend forecasting class. Next up is strategic collection development. So this one is taking all of your trends research, your brand identity, and starting to actually think through creating full lines or collections. So part of that is going to be diving kind of deeper into fashion history and understanding the evolution of fashion, because history always influences the present, and that's true for the fashion industry as well. In addition to that, you'll be learning how to create cohesive yet diverse collections. So, what that means is a collection that has a good mix of products, right? You don't want to just sell all t-shirts with a logo on them. That's not a variety that can appeal to a wide market. That might only appeal to one or two, segments of the market, when you want to appeal to the whole market, right? So putting together cohesive yet diverse collections is really important. And then also in this class, you're going to dive into the production planning of an apparel manufacturing. So, once you have your collections designed, well, what's next? It's going into production and it's going into manufacturing. So you'll learn those kind of first steps in this class as well, of how to get your product from idea into actual garments. All right, fashion marketing, another hugely important one. And this one, you're going to start by defining your customer. So many people know when you have a product, you need to identify a target market, a target demographic. So in this class, you'll really be honing in and focusing in on what that customer is going to be. And then from that understanding of who you're going to be selling to, you'll learn how to build and manage your marketing mix. So what that would mean is, like, say that I am going to be selling to Gen Z. Well, then probably I'm not going to want to mess around with Facebook. I'm not going to mess around with LinkedIn, but my marketing mix might be Instagram and TikTok. And so you'll learn to build your marketing mix based upon your target market. And then, of course, you'll be creating your market strategy and marketing plan as part of this as well. And your marketing plan will feed into your business plan. And speaking of business plan, that's the last class that we have to cover. We're going to be talking about raising the capital to launch your brand. So how to present to investors, how to put together a presentation so that you can showcase your ideas clearly and effectively in a way that's going to make people excited about investing in you. Designing your operational strategy, putting together your team. What is the structure of your organization going to look like? Is it going to be just you? Are you going to be bringing in outside individuals? And what is that going to look like for you? That's a key part of your business plan. Also understanding the sourcing process. How are you going to get your materials? Where are you going to get them from? How is your raw materials manufacturer going to work with your suppliers work with your manufacturers? All of that is something that you need to consider going into a business plan, right? Any investor is going to want to see that you've really thought through every aspect of your supply chain. And then finally, identifying your exit strategy. So that's a weird thing to think about when you're just, getting a business started, right? But an exit strategy is a really important part of any business plan, especially, some people want to start their business and then just see it through forever. But some people want to get their business to a place where it's profitable and then sell off a majority of their shares so that they can sit back and kind of manage the company in a more advisory capacity instead of being so hands-on every day. So thinking about your exit strategy is definitely something important as well, and that will be covered in the business plan course. Okay, so just a quick overview of what the outcomes are, what we're hoping that our students will leave the program with. We're hoping that you're going to be able to analyze trends, predict preferences, and create smart designs. So, again, like I mentioned before, we're not just designing for ourselves and what we think is beautiful, but rather knowing how to interpret the market, analyze, research, and make informed decisions about the designs. How to scale your startup from concept to launch. So, our hope is that you would come in with maybe some idea, but a very vague idea of what your brand, what your business will look like. And our goal is to bring you to a point where you are confident and comfortable in taking that next step to actually launching. Get capital ready, meaning not that we give you capital, right? But that we get you ready to approach individuals who would have the capital with a comprehensive business plan. You can show them and say, hey, here's what I'm going to bring to the table. And here's what I would like you to invest in. They won't invest in something that they can't really understand, right? So we get you to the point where you have your business plan ready to go. And then our final hope is to help you build a network of fashion industry professionals. Part of this, and we'll mention this again in a little bit, but we plan to partner students with individual industry mentors and help you really get connected within the industry. Somebody that you can just reach out to if you're having a tough time or you have a question or you just need advice. Our goal is to give you allies in the industry so that you're not just going into this alone. Okay, so some career services that we do offer as part of the entrepreneurship plan or program is portfolio and resume assistance. So you do take a career seminar course, which is, centered around resumes and thank you letters and all of that good stuff. But if you wanted any additional assistance on maybe tailoring your portfolio to a specific, company or retailer, then you can definitely reach out to our faculty and they'd be happy to review anything that you'd like us to review. We also offer internships. Typically, that comes in the form of volunteering during New York Fashion Week, working backstage with designers. Although we've had a variety of different brands reach out to us for seeking a variety of different skills from our students. We've had a technical design internship recently that a student worked in. That was even a paid one, which is great. Currently, we have like backstage at a photo shoot as an internship that we're filling for our students. So lots of different opportunities coming in for internships. Fashion Expo is another great thing to participate in. This is typically as students are finishing up the certificate portion of their course load. And in this, you create a 3-look collection, which we show at a runway show at the school. And in addition to the runway show, we also do a photo shoot. So it's a great way to just kind of build your portfolio and get experience, with the construction, with the design element, with the fashion show element even. So that's a really fun thing, kind of like a little capstone as you finish the certificate. And then, as I mentioned previously, industry mentorship. So we'll be pairing our students with different professionals that are, in line with what you are interested in. Say that you really think that marketing is going to be your strong suit. Our goal will be to pair you with somebody who also has strengths in marketing so that you can really benefit from that partnership as best as possible. And then finally, our business incubator. So our studio space is your headquarters for the duration of your time with us and even beyond. So any resources that we have are yours to use. We are here to fully support and facilitate your business development. So that's one of the main things that we want to focus on is making even our industry professionals available to you during incubator hours so that you can just get thoughts and ideas from different people in the industry. Okay, now finally, before we go into question and answer, we have to get into the nitty gritty about the financials and logistics. So if you were to take the full program from start to finish, you could complete in 12 to 15 months. And then that 12 to 15 months, there's no difference in the classes that you'll be taking. It's just how quickly you want to move through those courses. Obviously, if you're taking 12 months, it's going to be a little bit heavier course load, and the 15 months would be a little bit more relaxed approach. If you were to take the full program from start to finish, meaning starting at the foundation level and then going through to entrepreneurship, it would be $21,600. However, if you wanted to simply focus on taking the advanced courses, it would be 8,900. And this advanced courses, just taking those, that only applies to our students who have already completed the foundation and certificate programs, or students would need to provide proof of similar or equivalent learning, because as we say, those foundation skills, those certificate skills, those are going to be invaluable for you. So we want to make sure that you have those skills before taking the entrepreneurship course. Okay, so if you want to follow us and learn more on socials, this are our handles. I'll leave it up for just a second to take a photo or a screenshot if you'd like. And then I'd like to open it up for questions if you have any. And if you don't think of any questions right now, but you do want to ask a question later, you can always email us at info@nysd.edu. So if you have any questions, go ahead. You can type it into the chat, or you can chime in and answer or ask by unmuting yourself.
Yeah, I didn't want to like jump in to interrupt you because I was waiting at the end.
Yeah.
So I already did the like ended the certificate,
Hmm.
so it will be just the entrepreneurship classes, right?
Correct.
So I'm able to take like the second option, like the
Hmm.
8900.
Yep.
That's great.
Exactly.
Um, Also, that what will be like the whole duration? Because I'm like international student,
Right.
so I have this visa thing.
Right.
So I would
Um,
like to know that.
Yeah, so since there's about 5 additional classes that, in addition to the certificate classes which you've already taken, it's kind of difficult to do them all in one term. So I would say you could probably anticipate completing within 6 months, 6 to 9 at the very longest.
All right. Okay. That sounds great. Yeah. So 69. Is it like possible to? Is there any option to have like some online, or you guys are not doing that anymore? Was the
There's
pandemic?
a possibility that some classes will be online, but I can't guarantee that at this time.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, and those were like my main questions because
Okay.
I have this problem of the visa, so
Right. Yeah.
uh, that's kind of like the only thing holding me back because
Yeah.
I started like a couple months ago. Well, I don't know. This is gonna be in the recording.
Oh,
No.
yeah, but I can stop actually. Here, let me stop it.
All right.